It's the big disappointment for so many. We understand what 10.7 million, as the papers have put it. The ones who were at the moment disgruntled with the NCC. Well, the Director of Public Affairs joins us. He's Mr. Tony Ojobo. Morning, and thank you for joining us today. Well, of course, you expect that there'll be a lot of consternation about the actions from the NCC. How do we justify this? Because you have a lot of people who say, look, we have been wrongly disconnected from the telephone service.
Good, Chamberlain. Thank you for having. Well, of course, you'll see the head of enforcement in the press briefing had yesterday in Lagos. And of course, the networks were expected to have communicated to their subscribers, requesting them to update their records. In the event that, for instance, the biometrics or the picture that is supposed to be captured and other information like addresses were not there. So really, if the service providers are followed through to the letter, the instructions given to them, they should have sent SMSs to their subscribers with a view to getting them to do the right things. So I think that the blame should be on the service providers. However, a meeting was held at our offices in Abuja on the 4th of August at the instance of the Office of the National Security Advisor, to the intent that the security situation in this country required that certain measures be taken. And such measures meant that the pre-registered SIM cards, improperly registered SIMs, were posing a danger to security situation in the country, and there was a need to address it. And one of the things to be done was to ensure that all subscribers' biometrics, information, data were properly captured. Now, we also discovered that there have been instances where you have agents of the service providers selling pre-registered SIM cards. Now, that in itself meant that somebody else registers a SIM card, and another person goes to get that SIM card and is using it. And this in itself is an identity theft.
We'll come to that in a minute, but let me just get this cleared out. It was part of what you said at the opening sequence there. When you said the blame should be on the subscribers, on the telecom service providers. But as it is now, it is the subscribers who are bearing the brunt because they've been disconnected. Many have said, look, we have registered even up to 3 times. So how come that in spite of that, they are still disconnected?
Well, you see, there is supposed to be a relationship between a service provider and then a customer they're providing service to. And one is that information is critical. Now, ideally, for every subscriber on the networks, before you deactivate, you should have communicated either by SMS or whatever means, or through radio or advertorials, requesting them to update their data. Now, if that didn't happen, then the fault should be on the operators, because there is a contractual relationship between a service provider and a customer. And the point is that if I have the database is with the operator, you are the one that should know whether I've been properly captured or not. So if I'm not being properly captured, and they have the statistics, and I will just run through the statistics in a while, but every operator has the statistics of the subscribers that were not properly registered. And they also have information on the pre-registered SIM cards. So all that they needed to do was to ensure that for every subscriber whose data were not properly captured, they are communicated, and then of course that those numbers are deactivated if they don't come to register. Now, on the 4th of August, a 7-day ultimatum was given to them to ensure that all subscribers on their networks were properly captured. And they had between that 4th until the time our enforcement exercises started to communicate to every subscriber on their network.
That's the 4th of August this year. This 4th?
Yes. Yes, but of course, the whole exercise started since 2013.
But did the commission check if they in turn reached out to their subscribers?
Well, some subscribers, of course, you know that some of the NCC staff are also subscribers. Some subscribers actually got SMSs sent to them.
And that means many others didn't.
But because the numbers are huge. For instance, for MTN, you're talking about 18.6 million. For Airtel, 7.4 million. For Glo, 2.2 million. And Etisalat, 10.4 million. Now, these are the unregistered, invalid, improperly captured data. Now, what they were expected to do, because they have this information, what they were expected to do was to forward the necessary information to these people, requesting them to properly re-register. Now, in some of the customer service centers in their localities, now, that's exactly what they are supposed to do. Now, of course, you know, maybe there were some individuals that probably didn't get that information, or maybe also that they didn't send out the information. But what the commission is saying is this, that we are going to fully implement the directives, that any pre-registered SIM card that our enforcement team gets across to, the penalty is 200,000 per SIM card, pre-registered SIM card. So the commission is going to follow through because of the security situation, because of the emergency in security. We're going to follow through to ensure that this particular directive is followed to the letter.
Allow me to come in here because we're getting to see a mix-up somehow here. Maybe some form of lazy attitude towards some of these operators. For some that have sent us a couple of messages, you get a message, it's as if it's a bulk message sent to everyone, whether you have registered or not. So these messages were not entirely specific, letting these subscribers know what to do. So in such instance, how do you know that yours wasn't properly, well, captured?
Well, I think the buck will stop on the table of the operator, because the operator, they have this information. Now, the commission sent the list of improperly registered data, the ones they have sent to the commission, and after the registration, the commission in 2013 got across to the service providers indicating that a number of subscribers were not properly captured. Then again in 2014, October of 2014, the commission again wrote to the service providers indicating that they have still not responded to the request of the commission in terms of those data that were not properly captured, and requested that they should do that immediately and get back to the commission. Now, this continued until the meeting of August 4th, 2015. And because of the security situation, that meeting was held. Now, what the operators probably did was just to send out a blanket SMS to all the subscribers on their network. But that's not what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to send SMSs to those ones, because they have the details, they have the information. From what I read to you, for instance, the numbers for MTN, 18.6 million. This is if they have this data, they know who they are. And all that was supposed to have happened is for them to send SMSs to these particular individuals, requesting them to ensure that their data were properly captured. Otherwise, they will be deactivated from the networks. So really, I think it's just maybe some administrative lapses on the part of the service providers not communicating appropriately to the subscriber.
In that case, someone needs to be penalized, or someone has to answer to such queries. You are the big man in charge of overlooking all of these operations in the telecoms industry. Now I'm talking about NCC. In the studio here, we have a phone where that has been bad, and the individual didn't get such message. What do you do in such instance? Because if they have figures that you have reeled out, it means they already have well, a data bank showing those that have properly been captured and those that
absolutely.
Absolutely. So in such, why would someone who never got such messages or such message be barred by the network provider?
Of course, there will be consequences for the service providers that actually are in breach. Well, the individual consumer experience actually would have to have consequences, because if a subscriber, for instance, didn't get that information and is deactivated, now what actually you're supposed to do is, one, get across your network and indicate that you have been deactivated. And what they will have to do is capture the biometrics and ensure that the accurate data is put there in the database, and then you are reactivated. Now, the deactivation does not mean total withdrawal of number, but deactivation indicates that the registration was improper, and maybe there are certain aspects of the biometrics or the data required in the particular subscriber information that is not there. And what is required is for the individual to go and actually go and reactivate. I mean, go and re-register, and then the number will be reactivated. But Sulaiman, I have to say something to you. The networks actually may not know really who is who, because the issue is that information had been given before now for people to come back and re-register if their biometrics were not properly captured, or the addresses or pictures, as the case may be. So you have also a situation where certain individuals are hiding under this issue of not having identity to commit crimes. So really the issue is that you have to be able to address everyone that is involved in that particular demography. Now, everyone that is involved, if for instance you have sent out messages, or maybe some of them didn't get the messages and you deactivate, what is required is for that individual to go back to the customer service center of the operator and re-register, as the case may be, or have whatever information is missing there included in the database. It might be a bit inconvenient, but you see, we need to get this right because of the security situation in the country.